All right. A couple days ago on this couch, Ben Carson was sitting right here. Brian asked him a great question about if you would have been in a room with a shooter, and this was after what happened out in Oregon, what would you do? And he said essentially he would charge the shooter. I mean, you really have a couple of choices. You can stand there. If you're armed, you could shoot him, or you could charge him. Okay, that was his opinion on a hypothetical situation. And yet, if you were watching the other morning shows yesterday, and we hope you weren't, but you would have gotten this. Ben Carson, a terrible person.
Welcome to CBS This Morning. Ben Carson is lighting up the gun control debate with controversial comments on mass shootings. The GOP presidential candidate says he would sacrifice his life if he were face-to-face with a gunman. He said he'd rather see a body with bullet holes than gun control.
Republican presidential hopeful Ben Carson feels the heat for comments on gun control.
It's beyond insensitive. It's hard to hear that.
I think just as a rule, don't explain what you would have done in a moment none of us could imagine.
Asked what he would have done and that nobody could imagine, and I just think that he wanted to say that that's what the action would have taken had it happened, and he does believe that it would be better if there were people in that classroom that were armed than unarmed. That is crazy according to the president, I know, but not according to the doctor who's running for president, and he is doubling down on it.
This is a person who has devoted his life for 4 decades saving lives. This is a person who said he would sacrifice his own life for others.
Sure.
What is your problem with that? And how dare you twist his words to indicate that he is somehow saying that those victims didn't do enough? He wasn't alluding to that situation.
No.
And if
it was
you
a hypothetical,
there,
and just
everyone's asking that question themselves.
Go back to September the 11th, 2001. Todd Beamer.
Yeah.
Let's roll in that airplane. He was celebrated for what he did. And so Ben Carson, you know, he made a great point. That was his opinion. We are entitled to our own opinion. Donald Trump, a rival of Ben Carson's, actually came to his defense. He said this on Twitter. Ben Carson was speaking in general terms as to what he would do if confronted with a gunman and was not criticizing the victims. Not fair.
But Hillary Clinton jumped on him, and everybody else jumped on him, and even Lindsey Graham said something negative about his comments. There's a difference, I think. I think the main problem with Ben Carson has right now is that he is surging, and in some polls he's leading. It's kill the guy in front. That's what this has been so far for the past 4 months.
Sure, without a doubt, the mainstream media is certainly taking an opportunity to attack him over that, but somehow they missed Vice President Joe Biden claiming that Republicans beat up Hispanics. Watch this.
People walked in like literally down because of the beating Hispanics are taking at the hands of the Republican caucus, Republican presidential race. You know, if that were, we always do this, if the roles were reversed, if it was a Republican saying that about Democrats, it would be great. It would be typed that high on the cover of the New York Times. But Joe Biden has been known to say stuff similar to that in the past. Remember, it was a couple of years ago in front of a group in Virginia where he said the Republicans would put Americans back in chains.
On Sunday, he said this to a LBGT at dinner. There are homophobics still left. Most of them are running for president. Wow, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be there, too.
So anyway, plenty of time to attack Joe Biden for voicing his opinion, which he is entitled to.
They missed it.
And nobody really covering the Joe Biden.
Let's see if he gets in.
Content.
Let's see if everything changes once he gets in.
Yeah.